In 1917, Palestine was already home to a vast Arab, Muslim, and Christian population, alongside long-standing Jewish communities. Yet while Palestinians had no say in Britain making the promise, Britain's declaration would help shape the political future of their homeland. The Balfour Declaration. The date was November 2nd, 1917. This was the Balfour Declaration. Britain declared that it viewed with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people. It also stated that nothing should prejudice the civil and religious rights of the existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine. But there was something deeply consequential about the wording. Britain did not promise a state. It promised a national home. The meaning of that phrase was deliberately left undefined. It was politically powerful, but ambiguous, leaving its ultimate form open to interpretation. For Palestinians, that ambiguity had enormous consequences. A foreign government was now supporting a national project in Palestine, while the Arab majority remained without a comparable political commitment of self-government. The promise had been made. The consequences were only beginning. The Mandate. After World War I, the Ottoman Empire collapsed. The League of Nations then established the Mandate system, supposedly designed to guide former Ottoman territories towards self-government. The Covenant's Article 22 stated that certain communities formerly belonging to the Ottoman Empire had reached a stage where their existence as independent nations could be provisionally recognized. It also said their wishes must be a principal consideration in selecting the mandatory power. Palestine became a Class A mandate, but Britain incorporated the Balfour Declaration into the mandate for Palestine. That created a contradiction at the heart of British rule. Britain was supposed to administer the territory while supporting a Jewish national home there, even though Arabs formed the overwhelming majority of the population. The 1922 census recorded roughly 87.8% Muslims and Christians combined, with Jews making up about 11.1% of the population. One promise spoke of a Jewish national home. Another principle spoke of the political future and wishes of the peoples of the former Ottoman territories. Palestinians were left caught between the two. The promise grows. For the Zionist movement, the Balfour Declaration was far more than words on paper. It gave the movement backing from the British Empire and was incorporated into the international mandate framework. For Palestinians, that same process meant that the future of their homeland was increasingly being shaped by decisions made under foreign rule. And the contradiction became harder to ignore. Britain had promised to protect the rights of the existing population while simultaneously facilitating the development of a Jewish national home. The land was not empty. The people were not invisible. Yet they had not been asked whether Britain could make the promise in the first place. Churchill's clarification. In 1922, Winston Churchill attempted to clarify Britain's position. The date was June 3rd, 1922. Britain rejected the idea that its goal was to create a wholly Jewish Palestine, saying such an expectation was impracticable and was not its aim. But Britain did not abandon the Balfour Declaration. It continued to support the establishment of a Jewish national home in Palestine. So for Palestinians, the fundamental question remained: what would happen to their political future as this national project continued to develop? The contradiction had not disappeared. It had been built into the system. Britain's other promise. And Palestine was not the only place where Britain was making promises. During World War I, Britain had made commitments to Arab leaders regarding independence in exchange for an Arab revolt against the Ottoman Empire. Then, in 1916, Britain secretly reached an agreement with France. The Sykes-Picot Agreement divided much of the former Ottoman Arab territories into proposed British and French zones of control. The future of Arab lands was being negotiated by European powers behind closed doors. Then the secret agreement was exposed. In 1917, the Bolshevik government published the secret treaties of the former Russian government, including Sykes-Picot. Across the Arab world, the revelation deepened the sense that the promises of independence were being betrayed. Britain had promised different futures to different people, and Palestine was caught in the middle. The consequence: Britain was now balancing competing promises, imperial interests, and conflicting national ambitions. To Zionists, Britain had offered support for a Jewish national home. To Arab leaders, Britain had made commitments concerning independence and self-government. To France, Britain had secretly negotiated spheres of control over former Ottoman territories. The result was not a clean path to peace. It was a political collision waiting to happen. Britain had helped build a framework in which competing national projects were now tied to the same land, and Palestinians would live with the consequences. Britain lit the fuse. The explosion came later. Share this video and follow Days Gone By. Because as you believe Palestine's history should not be forgotten, sharing this video helps put that history in front of someone who may never have heard it. And if you want to support Palestine while supporting Days Gone By, you can purchase the Rooted in Dignity shirt. A percentage of every purchase goes towards supporting Palestine Palestine and Helping Days Gone By continue telling these stories, because history should not be erased, and neither should Palestine. Follow Days Gone By to remember history, share the truth, and stand with Palestine.